Hey guys, welcome back to Sero Art. I'm Sasha and today... excuse me? What's going on? Wait. And this is the slightly updated avatar I'll be using this week. I haven't had a lot of time to completely clean myself up and figure out all of the different emotions I can do yet, but stick with me and we'll figure it out as I release more videos. Anyway, as I always say, today we'll be designing Pokemon based on other Pokemon silhouettes. I didn't come up with this idea myself, credit has to go to TrueGreen7 for the idea in this video, but I'm sure you knew that already. We'll get into the designs in just a moment, but I want to thank everyone who watched and subscribed to my first FAKEMON design video on the channel. I was not expecting to get so many views, and let alone this many subscribers, so thank you, really. With that said, if you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more of my content in the future, please subscribe, as only 1% of people watching this video are subscribed. And finally, if you have any suggestions for future Pokemon or art related videos, then please leave that in the comments. And one last thing, if you want to join my community, please join my Discord channel that I put in the description of this video. If I hit a milestone of 500 subscribers, I will do a video where I redraw all of your Fakemon designs, and I will be collecting the designs in the Discord. With that out of the way, let's get into the designs. Okay, the first silhouette I'll be using in this video is Yamask, and I wanted to go with something quite different. So while I was figuring out the shapes, I kind of saw blobfish, and so I had to draw blobfish, and it was just a case of trying to figure out what would work in a design with blobfish in it, and I was really struggling with that. I gave it a wheel because I didn't want it to be too similar to Yamask. I wanted to keep the design distinct. So I ended up giving it a wheel, as it's kind of, blobfish is kind of a bottom feeder in the ocean. And for the arms of Yamask, I tried giving it handlebars to make it kind of like a motorbike, but it didn't feel right. So I mixed up the design a bit and played around a bit. And my partner actually suggested, what if I made the handlebars into a long exhaust fume? And that really pulled the design together. I'm really happy with that decision. So after I figured out the shapes for the exhaust, made it look like actual smoke, I was able to start thinking of the color scheme, and I really enjoy how this design came out. So with that, we have Blobxhaust, the bottom feeder Pokemon. Blobxhaust rolls around the deep seabed using its exhaust pipes to propel itself. When in danger, it can release a toxic mist from its exhausts to both conceal itself and scare off predators. Blobxhaust is a poison water type with the abilities Poison Heal and Merciless. It has base stats of 350, and it has a focus on its defenses, with its special attack being slightly higher than its main attack. I gave it these stats with intention of it evolving in the future. I gave it a purple colour scheme to match the poison aesthetic well. I gave it a water type because it's sea dwelling. I gave the shiny form the actual colours of the blobfish photo that you've probably seen, and I think this really adds to the character of this design. I made this Pokemon fairly large, at a height of 120 centimetres. Let me know what you think of this design, because I like it. And on to the next design. For this one, I took the male Meowstic silhouette and flipped it upside down, because I'm allowed to do that. And after playing with the shapes a bit, I actually came up with a shape similar to that of a fuchsia flower, and so I went with that design. I was inspired by other mid-stage Pokemon with 3 evolutions that are female presenting, such as Curlia, Roselia, and the Steny lines. So I guess at some point I'll have to do a pre-evolution and an evolution of this Pokemon. Overall, I really like this design. It feels fun, and while trying to figure out the shapes, I ended up making the body feel like the branch or roots of a plant, while I had the hair kind of flow like leaves. I know it doesn't look exactly like that, but I had to work with what I was given in the silhouette, and I think I used it quite well. I especially like using the stamens from the fuchsia flower for this Pokemon's legs. I think it adds a nice touch and really adds to the character of the Pokemon. I gave this Pokemon a very cheery appearance and decided that it would end up being quite small, and I thought that giving it a cheery appearance would be a good way to incorporate some character into the design, and I think that achieves it quite well. And with that we have Sinschia, the genuine Pokemon. Sinschia comes from Sinschia and Fuchsia, the flower that this Pokemon is based on. It comes with the abilities Flower Veil and Levitate, and it's a grass fairy type. I think that fits its personality and design quite well. I tried giving the shiny form a different coloured flower or dress, and I think keeping the hair and the body the same works in my favour with this design. I really like how the rendering came out on this Pokemon, and I think I'm going to try and replicate this style a lot more in the future. Sinschia has base stats of 290 with a focus on special attack. I like how I was able to use the fluff from Meowstic's legs and its legs to turn it into ears with fluff or branches sticking off of them. I think that achieves it quite well, and to go with the ball gown aesthetic of the flower being a dress, I gave white tips to the ends of the arms and to the ends of the ears to kind of suggest fancy ballroom gloves, which may allude to the evolution of this Pokemon in the future. Overall, I love how this design came out. I think it's really cute, and yeah, it's just a really fun design. But what do you think? Let me know. But let's move on to the next design. The next Pokemon I'm going to be using the silhouette of is Happiny. Now, I felt like if I used the silhouette the right way up, I would have fell into the trap of making it far too similar. So I flipped it upside down, and I wanted to make a kind of small rodent and was trying to figure out what shape the head should be, and I eventually settled on a helmet. And leading on from that, I remembered about lemmings, where there was a big rumour started where lemmings would jump off cliffs, when that's not actually true. It was just something that was caused by Disney. Lemmings don't actually do that, but I thought it would be a fun way, so I took the markings of a lemming and tried to work that into the design. And then I started working on the colours, and I thought it would be fun if it could gain charge by falling and generate maybe energy on the impact of a fall. So I gave it a star on its chest to kind of allude to what falling light might look like a shooting star. I wanted this Pokemon to look oblivious and innocent, and I think I achieved that. And so, I reveal to you Lemmet, the skittish Pokemon. Lemmet is a normal electric type, and has the abilities Runaway and Static with the hidden ability Lightning Rod. Lemmet has base stats of 220, indicating that it's probably a first stage evolution. And the shiny is blue, like electricity as well. Lemmet are famously skittish, and they will run at the slightest hint of danger. There was a famous situation where over 1,000 Lemmets were scared by a Pokestar Studios film crew, causing them all to jump off a nearby cliff, causing what locals in a nearby village called a meteor shower. Although, as we know, it wasn't actually a meteor shower, it was just thousands of Lemmets falling off the cliff. Fortunately, the Lemmets were unharmed as they were able to generate power on the way down. I think this design is really cute. I think this is my favourite of the designs that I do in this video, but what do you think of them? Anyway, let's move on to the next design. So I took Sentret's silhouette for this one, and I flipped this one upside down as well. But, you know, when I looked at this silhouette, I saw Shuckle. And when you see Shuckle, you kind of have to draw Shuckle. So I drew Shuckle. And progressing on the design a bit, I kind of lent into it, and I kind of made it a sea anemone that would walk along the seabed, which I think is kind of fun. But it definitely looks quite derpy, quite silly. But I think that's a lot of the fun in Pokemon. I don't think this design ended up looking entirely natural. But when you're working with silhouettes like this, you can't expect perfection. I mean, you shouldn't expect perfection in your art anyway. It's all about having fun. So I ended up creating the feet of Sentret into little ruffles around this Pokemon's neck. And I tried to make the arms multiple tentacly things to allude to it being lots of tentacles rather than just individuals. And I made a separation on the bottom of the legs of this Pokemon to kind of show that it walks along the seafloor. And so, with that design finished, I reveal to you Anemonuckle, the anemone Pokemon. This Pokemon is a convergent evolution with Shuckle. However, it's not related to Shuckle. It's actually just a sea anemone that walks along the seabed and happened to end up looking similar to Shuckle. As you can see in the shiny form, I have referenced Shuckle's colours because I had to. I thought it was fun. Anemonuckle is a water rock type. Anemonuckle has the abilities Solid Rock and Water Absorb, with a hidden ability, Regenerator. Anemonuckle has base stats of 380, with a focus on attack and defense. I was going to make Anemonuckle small at first, but then I thought, why don't I just make it big? Because that would be amazing. So Anemonuckle ends up standing at 2 meters tall, quite large, and probably not what you expect. Overall, I'm really happy with this design, but what do you think? I ended up using similar eyes to Shuckle, but I made the mouth a little bit different because I wanted a different character to it. And on the rock that Anemonuckle is living inside, I added a few wavy patterns. For the final design in this video, I used Wartortle. And I ended up keeping the silhouette the same way up as before because I wanted to challenge myself and try and make something a bit different to Wartortle while maintaining the exact same silhouette. I was messing around with the ears of Wartortle at first, and I tried to move away from the idea of ears and ended up using an idea that I thought was quite clever. So I had smoke coming out of this Pokemon's eyes, which I think works quite well. And so I followed that theme and used smoke in the tail of the design as well. And that led me to making a poison type. So I tried to figure out what animal this Pokemon was going to be like, and it ended up looking a bit like a salamander with a big puffy throat. And I didn't want it to just be a poison type, I wanted to mix something in. And you might be thinking yellow, maybe you chose electric. Well, not quite. I will reveal that to you in a little bit. I tried to push the claws of this Pokemon a lot more than Wartortle's to kind of differentiate it and make it feel a bit more different to Wartortle than it otherwise would. But yeah, with that we have Gasamander, the toxic waste Pokemon. Gasamander is a poison psychic type. While scientists are unsure where Gasamander came from, but they're pretty sure it has something to do with toxic waste coming from a nearby power plant by an evil corporation. Gasamander has the abilities Poison Point and Anticipation, with the hidden ability Toxic Smoke. Gasamander has the base stats of 405, and I imagine it will evolve once. It has a focus on special attack, although it remains fairly bulky. I tried to keep the toxic feeling in the shiny Pokemon as well, and went with cyans and greens to kind of push that toxic radioactive appearance. Gasamander stands at 90 centimeters tall, and although Gasamander looks scary and aggressive, it's actually a very loving Pokemon that enjoys the companionship of its trainer. And that was the last design of this video. If you're still watching, thank you so much for watching all the way through the video. And remember, I'm looking to hit my next milestone of 500 subscribers, and if you want me to redraw your FAKEMON in that milestone video, then please join my Discord where you can send me the designs. I really enjoyed the designs in today's video. Which one of my designs today was your favourite? Please let me know in the comments. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, Pokemon or art related, please let me know. Thanks for watching. I've been Sasha. This is Sarah Art. I'll see you next time. Bye.